If you've been looking for a guide on Lucia, I got you. She's the new S-rank support agent in the Zenless Zone Zero 2.3 update, and if you've been wanting to improve your Rupture Teams, she's phenomenal. Not only providing a sheer damage, but also just a general damage buff, on top of her ultimate providing HP restoration. And in my opinion, if you're free to play, it's a good time to pull for her right now because the new A-rank Monato, who's a Rupture Fire agent, also has a higher drop chance. I'm going to be covering everything you need to know, down to materials, what skills prioritize, a kit breakdown, damage rotation, W engine options, what disc drives to look for, best teams, and more. We have a lot to cover, so let's not waste any time and dive right into it. As a general overview, Lucia is an ether support agent with the Spook Shack faction with a stat focus around HP. And here are all the materials you're going to need to get her up to max level. For the support chips, come under combat simulation. Then we want to go under agent promotion and then do the support drill. Same thing for the W engine. All you have to do is go under W engine modification and then do the support chips for that. For what skills to prioritize upgrading first, you definitely want to do core skills. These are a big one pretty much for every character. Before our regular skills, definitely do your X special, then ultimate, and then lastly, you can work on basic attack, assist, and dodge. And here are all the materials you're going to need to level up all of these skills. For the ether chips, come back under combat simulation, go to agent skill, and then do the resonance test. For expert challenge material, we have a new boss to face, which is the Miasmic Kamino Monato, and you're going to need 60 of these corrupted dream steals. Same thing for the notorious hunt boss. We have a new one called Wandering Hunter, and again, you're going to need 9 of these Crimson Miasma spikes from him. To maximize Lucia's buffs and take advantage of her off-field attacks, we need to understand exactly how her kit works. Her attacks fall under 2 different categories, first up being Whim, which is her 5th hit of her basic attack, her regular special attack, dodge counter, and quick assist, and then Harmony, which includes her X special attack, the assist follow-up, chain attack, and ultimate. The only real difference between Whim and Harmony is that Harmony can provide some extra effects, which I will cover, but the main thing is that using these attacks will build up your dream points, which you can see under her character icon. This is where her core passive Lost Nocturne comes into play, so once you reach 100 dream points, she will automatically enter what's called the dream state. Entering it will trigger a quick assist and simultaneously activate what's called Ether Veil Wellspring. While it's active, all squad members' max HP increases by 5%, lasting 40 seconds, and repeated triggers can extend the duration up to 300 seconds. So as long as you can keep up this buff, you have a permanent 5% HP increase, which is great for those Rupture agents. While she's in the dream state, using any Whim attack consumes 25 dream points and upgrades it to a Harmony attack. If Lucia is off-field and the active character hits an enemy, she'll consume 25 dream points to perform an off-field Aftershock Harmony attack that can trigger once every 8 seconds. When she uses that skill upgrade or Aftershock attack, all squad members gain what's called the Dreamer's Nursery Rhyme state, which increases damage dealt by 20% for 12 seconds, and repeated triggers can reset the duration. This is pretty much a permanent 20% damage increase for your entire team. And once Lucia runs out of dream points or leaves the Ether Veil, she will exit the dream state. And funny enough, the buffs aren't quite finished yet. If we go over to her X special attack, again, once you have enough energy, you can tap your special attack button. You're going to deal ether damage, gain 60 dream points, you're invulnerable while you use the skill, and you can follow up with the 5th hit of that basic attack afterwards. But that's not even the best part. When Lucia uses any attack that's considered Harmony, all squad members gain the Darkbreaker state. In this state, sheer force increases by 12, and for every 200 points of Lucia's initial HP, it grants an additional 7.4 sheer force up to a max of 900, lasting 20 seconds, and repeated triggers can reset that duration. I'm happy we don't have to do the math on this, they just provide it under the description. So as long as Lucia's initial max HP reaches 24,000, the above bonus effect reaches its max value. When any Harmony attack deals damage, Lucia increases the final attack's damage by an additional 70% of her max HP. So pretty much any Harmony attack gets an additional buff. On top of that, if she activates her X special attack while in the dream state or under the effect of the Ether Veil Wellspring, it gets a duration extension by 16 seconds. For additional ability, Ballad of the Long Night, as long as you have a Rupture or Stun character in your squad, when applying that Darkbreaker effect from using a Harmony attack, additionally, it applies a 30% crit damage increase. Last thing I'll talk about is her ultimate Charge Great Armor. Again, once you have the Decibels, you can activate it, go through the animation where she summons a big ethereal. She'll charge forward, and what's cool, you can actually steer the ethereal towards targets, and after 3 seconds, or if you let go, it'll finish the attack. During that charge, if Lucia takes fatal damage, she won't drop below 1 HP, so no matter what, she's surviving. And after that, a quick assist will be triggered once the skill hits, and it leaves behind what's called Starlight Convergence. This will last 8 seconds, and while you're inside it, the currently active character gains HP regeneration equal to 1.6% of Lucia's max HP per second. This effect ends 4 seconds after leaving the Starlight Convergence, or immediately when switching out. If Lucia is not in the dream state, she'll gain full dream points, and then you can go into the dream state. But if you're already in the dream state when you use the ultimate, not only will she gain full dream points, she will re-enter the dream state the next time she exits it, which means she automatically goes back into it. And as long as you have Dream State and the Ether Veil Wellspring active, the Ether Veil gets a duration extension by 32 seconds. I understand there's a lot of information in her kit, especially in regards to buffs, so if you're still a little confused, let me break it down into a simple damage rotation because it's a lot simpler than you think, mainly because she doesn't even have to be on field a lot. The first step, get those dream points so you can enter the dream state. And again, when you enter the battlefield, she already has 60 out of the 100 points you need, so as long as you use a couple of her attacks, or what I like doing sometimes if I'm using my other characters for DPS or building up days, I wait for her X special to be ready so I can automatically use that and go into the dream state to proc that quick assist immediately. And again, once you're in the dream state, you get the Ether Veil Wellspring, which increases your max HP. Number 2, apply Dreamer's Nursery Rhyme. Once she's in the dream state, you can have her be off field, and whenever you use your other agent, she's automatically going to attack with that Aftershock. That's considered a Harmony attack. If each of these attacks consumes 25 dream points, that means you get 4 of these off-field attacks. It can trigger once every 8 seconds, but when that Aftershock attack hits, that's when the Dreamer's Nursery Rhyme state applies, and your whole team gets the damage increase. Number 3, trigger the Darkbreaker state, which is very easy. All you need to do is use a Harmony attack, which again, when you're in the dream state, every attack is considered a Harmony attack. Even outside of that, as long as you use your X special, your chain attack, your ultimate, or even the assist follow-up after the defense assist, those are counted as Harmony attacks. Once that Harmony attack hits, that's when you get the Sheer Force boost, which lasts for 20 seconds, and repeated triggers can reset the duration. And lastly, number 4, use her ultimate when you need to restore health. On top of it, obviously dealing a decent amount of damage, the main thing is that Starlight Convergence pool, which is going to give your active character HP back over time. On top of it, extending the Ether Veil Wellspring for your entire team, that's obviously fantastic too. I personally like using the attack right around when the daze is full, so when the ultimate hits, I can immediately go into the chain attack for my other characters. This way, I'm basically guaranteed the dream state and all of its buffs. For Lucia's best W engines, her signature Dreamlit Hearth is kind of a must-have. You get a base attack and HP percentage bump, which again is good for her kit. On top of its perk, Moon Tide Epic. Note this is at rank 1. The equipper's energy regen increases by 0.4 per second when the equipper activates Ether Veil or extends its duration. All squad members gain a 25% damage increase and 15% increase max HP for 45 seconds. Repeat triggers reset the duration. I will say it's unfortunate that it's the only S and A rank engine that has HP as a main stat available for its kit, and with its perk being hyper specific for pretty much only Lucia, I wouldn't recommend getting this engine for anybody else, but if you are pulling for Lucia, I do recommend this engine. But if you decide to not go for a signature, another S rank you can use is Rena's Weeping Cradle. You get a base attack and pen ratio percentage bump with its perk Punishment. As long as Lucia is off field, she'll get that energy regen, and attacks from the equipper increase all units damage, which has a stacking capability, and repeated triggers can refresh its duration. The only thing you're missing with this engine would be the HP percentage increase. For some A-rank engine options, I know some people are recommending the Unfettered Game Ball from the Battle Pass, giving you, the base attack, the energy regen, and also a crit rate increase as long as you trigger an attribute counter effect. But honestly, both Lucy's signature, Kaboom the Cannon, and Nicole's signature, the Vault, are both decent options as well. The only other thing I'll point out is that the B-rank engine Reverb Mark III does have HP in its main stat, and when you launch a chain attack or ultimate, the entire squad gets an attack increase. For Lucia's best drive disc, we're looking for 4-piece Moonlit Lullaby with either 2-piece Yunquoi Tales or Swing Jazz. I told y'all last update to farm this disc as soon as possible, not only for Nicole, Lucy, Rena, Yuzuha, any support, but because I knew it was gonna be Lucia's best in slot. At 2 pieces, you get the 20% energy regen, and at the 4 piece, when the equipper is a support character and uses an X special or ultimate, the damage dealt by all squad members increases by 18% for 25 seconds. Repeated triggers reset the duration. Passive effects of the same name do not stack. The reason you more than likely want 2-piece Yunquoi Tales is because you get the 10% HP increase, which again, you need 24,000 HP to take full advantage of her core passive, so this will help out a bit getting you there. But if you can get some really good rolled discs that have both HP percentage and flat HP in those substats, you can technically sub in 2 P-Swing Jazz for another 20% energy regen. But again, you need to get really lucky with those substats. For our disc main stats, in our 4th, 5th, and 6th, you want HP percentage, and if you're good on HP, you can sub in energy regen in that 6th disc. And for our substats, we're mainly looking for HP percentage and flat HP. You can also get some anomaly proficiency, pen ratio, and crit rate and crit damage if you'd like. So in regards to stats, the only thing you need to worry about is HP. As long as you have 24,000, you're good. It doesn't really matter how much attack, crit rate, crit damage, anomaly proficiency, pen ratio, energy regen you have. None of this stuff matters like with other characters. All you need is HP for Lucia. For Lucia's best team options, there really isn't a free-to-play team, but for a budget team, pairing her up with Monato and Pulchra is decent. Like I said in my recap video, there's going to be an event soon where you can get a copy of Monato for free, and if you're pulling on Lucia or currently Vivian's banner, Monato has a higher drop rate as well. But if you're looking for the premium Rupture team, pairing her up with Ijwen and Jufufu is phenomenal. On top of all the buffs that Lucia provides, Jufufu can stack on top of that with increasing crit damage on top of chain attack and ultimate damage for Ijwen. As we know, you can pretty much spam her ultimate. Plus, both Jufufu and Lucia have off-field attacks, which means they don't necessarily have to be on the field a lot, which means you can mainly focus on using Ijwen and maximizing your damage. I also paired up Monato with this team as well, which was pretty fun. If you haven't done the 2.3 main story yet, spoilers. If you didn't see the Banyue drip marketing, we know he's going to be a fire Rupture agent, so I assume he's going to sub in here at some point in the next update. But again, we'll talk about that team when the time comes. If you have any teams that you like using, definitely let me know in the comments. Last thing we'll talk about is Lucia's Mindscape Cinema, and is it worth getting multiple copies of her? M1 Secret Friend is really good. It gives that Dreamer's Nursery Rhyme buff some additional perks, including ignoring some all attribute res, included decibel regeneration rate. When Lucia performs that skill upgrade, she gets a stack of Echo, which stacks up to 4 times. When the state ends, as long as she has the stacks, it'll consume it to basically reapply the state, which can make it last longer. M2 Great Magician is the best stopping point for spenders, not only allowing Lucia to deal more damage with those harmony attacks while she's in that Ether Veil Wellspring, but any agents that have that Darkbreaker state gain an additional 15% sheer damage increase while they're in the Ether Veil. M3, the best partner, again gives a +2 level bump to all of her skills. M4, Late Night Hours is good, but it's the weakest of the bunch, so when the Ether Veil is activated or extended, Lucia grants all squad members 100 decibels every 15 seconds. M5, Dream Watcher, again another +2 level bump to all of your skills. And lastly, M6, the Never Ending Journey, is insane. So as long as Lucia's inside the Ether Veil, she gets an attack increase by 2% of her initial max HP, and your harmony attacks will always crit, with having a 30% increase in crit damage as well. So this allows her to be a very strong sub DPS. Overall, M1 is great, but if you're willing to go to M2, that's a great stopping point, giving you the benefits of M1 ignoring all attribute res, getting some damage bonuses, M2 increasing your sheer damage, which is great. I wouldn't really aim for M3, 4, or 5, but if you want to go all the way to M6, just know your Lucia is going to hit like a truck. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is my Lucia build guide and kit breakdown. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on Lucia and how are your pulls going. For me, I got extremely lucky on the character banner. 0 pity, I was guaranteed, and I got her, which is great. Had to pretty much go all the way to pity on the engine just to lose, so we had to keep going to get that W engine, but we did eventually get it. I've got my Monato at M2 right now with his engine at rank 5, so he's a decent A rank, and again, I'll be doing a whole separate build guide and kit breakdown video for him as well. Plus, just by spending pulls, you get the free outfit as well, which is really nice. Or are you saving for the second half of the update where we're going to be getting Yadari and Jufufu's rerun? In any event, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that bell next to notifications so you don't miss out on any other Zenless Zone Zero content we have coming out on the channel. If you didn't know, we live stream here on the channel and also over on Twitch. That link will be in the description. There are drops occasionally for Zenless Zone Zero, so if you want some extra polychrome and some other rewards, be sure to tune in to the stream. Also, be sure to join my Discord. If you got a great stat roll, if you have a good build going for a character, if you have a clip you want to share, we have an entire channel dedicated to Zenless Zone Zero, but we also talk about a variety of other games on top of PC tech, anime, and more. Lastly, if you want to help support the channel even more, you can look into becoming a member. Now, if you don't know what a membership is, it's essentially like a Twitch subscription. Granted, it's cheaper over here on YouTube, but you're going to get access to the exclusive emotes, the monthly badges, and other cool stuff, including early access to all my long-form videos. So if you'd like more information, all you have to do is press the join button next subscribe, and that'll give you a rundown with all the details you need. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's Benny Boy. We'll catch you in the next video.
Seize the opportunity.